Okay, so let's go over some Litecoin scenarios, and specifically Elliot wave theory entries based on fourth wave and fifth wave receiving lower strength based on RSI. Okay, so what am I talking about? Let's go over this fairly thoroughly. Actually, I'm in a really baked mood right now. So we all know about the fractals. We talk about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 a lot lately. Okay. Now, this is a bigger degree. Note the degree that I have it on. I think it's the intermediate, okay? And as we all know, there's small waves in each fractal, right? For rallies that go upwards. And I'll change this one to a lower degree, like the minor, okay? So what we want to do, based on our size strategy, is simply this. Our psi wants to get a higher high up there, okay, like a high, and it comes down on the dip, and then it gets a lower high on the fifth wave. So what you're getting is you're getting a fifth wave losing strength in RSI, which is a big indication that momentum is lost. Okay, so of course that's one big factor, probably the major one for you to draw curiosity. And then the next one you want to do is you want to look for even more confluent signs that it is losing strength or the momentum is about to roll over to the bearish side. Okay, so then what you want to do is now you look at price action. Okay, how's the price action looking? Is it looking bearish? What kind of candles are we getting as well? Okay, but one of the strongest indications that I personally use as well is, now this is once again on the intermediate degree. So it's a large degree, which we're all agreeing on. Now, if you want to time it even better, right, other than level 2, we're going to leave that out of this discussion. We're talking about analyzing it in the smaller fractal on the very last fifth wave going up, okay? And what you want to really do is you want to catch these. You want to catch from 3 to both 5s, okay? So then you want to look at the RSI, and then you want to catch the strength loss on RSI from this 3 coming down to 4, then up to 5. And then on a smaller micro degree, you can time your entry a lot better. Does that make sense? Okay. And then a lot of the times I like to enter like literally near the top, as it's just the kind of trader that I am and what I specialize in, right? I don't like to wait for the momentum to roll over, because I was bred to be kind of a greedy trader, where I like to scalp, and scalping relies on the intensity of catching the tops or bottoms. Not the best strategy, I admit, quite a flawed strategy, but it's really exciting for me and I like it. And a lot of the times, like, I miss the top a lot, okay? Or I'm like way too early, or just early. But then the cool thing is, if I am early, you know, maybe it's coming down to a 4 that's making, and then there's one more going to the upside. On the first arrow and the only one that you see here first, if this, I believed, was the top, but it wasn't. Okay, I firmly believe right here where this arrow is the top on the third wave of the last fifth wave going up, but it wasn't. Then clearly, if it bounces on a pivot for 4 and it gets to 5, my confidence will be even higher. Does that make sense? It will be higher because my confidence was already high in the third. And this is kind of the mentality of a bear and a trader. If it exceeds the last point where you thought it was going to reverse, or that was the peak, and it goes one wave higher, then it must mean that you're even closer to the top, because it cannot infinitely go on above 5 waves, right? Okay, just getting some theory out of the way. Now, we do a breakdown of this, okay? And this, to me, it must be like this. If you take a look at a lot of these other coins, for example, Bitcoin, it kind of just rallied up, and it made fairly nice fractals. Ethereum as well, up, and then reached the point of correction. But LTC is a little bit different. in my opinion. It wasn't as stable going upwards. You look at ADA and it makes nice fractals. VET, same thing, right? But LTC was really choppy. But what we can agree on is that it made an up, okay? It pivoted hard, and it came down to retrace. And then now it's making a possible B to the upside and another C down. Either way, we're going to focus on just this one specific part. I'm going to leave out, that 90-10% rule that I have now, where you focus intensely on 90% of it until you surely believe it's true. And don't waste the other 10% perfecting it. Okay? You just believe it, and then move on to something else that's more important. A lot of the times, I'll get to my conclusion of a trade of what I want to do pretty quickly, right? And I'll spend like say 90% of my time on it. And the other 10%, I'll spend an equal amount of time to that 90% just to perfect it further. And I start to realize it's really a waste of my time. What I'm referring to, I'm just going to make this right here my first wave. And this one here my second wave. And we're going to leave it at that, okay? So now, very, very freaking interesting to me, okay? LTC just forms beautifully and proportionally, correct? This second wave correction lasted for about 5 days. This one we'll say lasted about 7 days. Okay? And that's from reaching the peak, where it's making just 5 beautiful waves coming down, which we can clearly call it as A. And we know what I'm getting to right now. We're simply getting to this. Always assume it's going to be an ABC first. Okay? And we know that in these, it's going to break down into a 5-3-5 pattern is what they call it. Now, I may be entirely wrong, but I have to look at this scenario because this is what the signs are telling us right now. And this just makes 3 for the ABC. You count the zigzag. Let me turn it down. It's kind of loud. Sorry about that. So now we count 5 waves down. 3 for B, and then 5 wave for C. Okay? Pretty basic. 5-3-5 zigzag correction coming down, right? Okay, so now we take a look here and we say this is clearly one wave entirely. And then now, if this were a wave right here, that must mean that this is another wave, which makes the ABC. And with the ABC, that completes the A down and maybe the B up. And then you just kind of check all these as well. Anything off? Wave 3 does about not 1618, but between 1 and 1618. And then wave 5 does almost the 1618, so pretty proportional for the wave coming down. Checking out the B wave. When I say the B wave, I'm talking about this one from here to there. That's the larger degree, but this is the little B. Like that. And this one here probably made a really nice extension. Yeah, in between. So this extension from 1 to 2 did the exact same extension for 3. Kind of interesting. So wave 3 did between 1618 and 1. So right in the middle. Right there. And then you take a look here. This kind of does the exact same thing on this extension as well. That's really loud. I thought I turned it down way down. Sorry about that. Maybe my ears are bad lately. Alright, so this was going to be short, but it's not short at all. So check this out now, okay? So now, and we're still relating this to timing it properly to answer the last one, okay? So if this were an entire wave, which we know it is, or it's going to make a wave, let's break it down further, and then we can really time this guy. So now I look at this right away and I say to myself, this has got to be 1. That's got to be 2. And that's got to be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Okay? So that's how I'm looking at it right now. Or this is a 1, 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 5. Okay? So it could be like that. Or it could be like that. Either case. Okay, let's talk about this case first. Well, now in the 5, I see 1, 2, but I only see a 3 and a 4 making. Therefore, there could be another 5. One more small one up. I'm serious, small. I'm talking about 2. You gotta keep in mind as well that this is also it's also right at like the golden pocket range already. That's kind of where we're at. So don't forget about that, of that larger degree, from there to there, that we're now at the golden pocket, golden ratio range exactly. So there might be one more. Now let's say we take a look at the other scenario. This one here implies there's one more wave with this scenario. Now we're going to go with the other one where we're going to go something like that, right? Looking at it here still, on this one, still looks like it still has one more wave to the upside. So based on both counts, who knows which one's right, I'm still seeing maybe one more wave to the upside. And that's what having reserve is for. You don't always enter everything in one position. So I've got a little bit to go. But if it doesn't go up, then I'm going to be happy with my position. And where is my target going to be? It's going to be only for this wave first. Because I only play it one wave at a time. So if that were my 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, I'd probably take it just from the tip here, down there, to the top over here. And I want to point out really clearly on the 4 hour, there's a doji already at the top there. Okay. I also want to point out that this is the rule, right? 1 pass over, 2 back. We see it a little bit there. Or even a bounce can count as it. Okay. And the third one is usually the one where it comes down and it breaks, especially on the 4 hour. It might break down a little bit, I'd say. Bearishly diverging RSI on the 4 hour already. Okay. But we already know all of that from a larger degree. But what we're trying to do is time the smaller degree. So now let's go to a 30 minute. Okay? We're starting to see it really, really taper off here at the top. The RSI. Right? Maybe a 1 hour would give us a better indication. Right here as well. We're getting lots of indication that it's bearishly diverging. The 2 hour, massive one. But let's even see in a smaller time frame, okay? It's just steadily coming down. This streak right here almost implies there's going to be one more little shot up. Because there could be one more wave once again. So that's how we time our entries a little bit better. By going on smaller degrees once we already know which degree it is in on the larger ones. Okay? So now I'm pretty excited about this. And my short is only going to be for that specific wave only. Right here. Of that wave. I'm just going to delete some of this stuff. So it'll be only here. If this is the top. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll probably end up targeting 382 to 54. That is how I'm deriving my target. Because I'm only going to play it one wave at a time. It's just the way that I approach kind of protecting myself and not getting greedy. It's to protect myself from going overboard because I know what kind of aggressive trader it could be. So I impose these types of rules for myself to ensure that I'm profiting over time. I think it's a set of rules that we adhere to and the discipline that we have as a trader that will allow us to profit over time, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So I'll play it for this wave only. Basically, from there to there, okay? But we look at it on the bigger degree, right? Clearly, if it drops below there, I'm probably going to enter a short... There's going to be a bounce somewhere. No matter what. And when it breaks the support, that's probably where I'll enter even further. And then the ultimate goal is to get a zigzag all the way down. That'd be kind of cool. If all coins, or most coins, ended up correcting until about December the 17th there, because it's still a lot of time. I mean, A only took 30 days. B only took 30 days roughly. Well, if this was 30 days, a little bit longer than that to make C, we'd be inching into December. And we all know December 17th, shit happens. I think it's the most significant day in Bitcoin's history to me. I mean, if that made ABC until like, December 17th-ish. And then all of a sudden, woo! Skyrocketed. But you know what? This is a pretty steady support. You guys have to admit, like, that this little support here is rock right now. So I'm looking at it like that. Just, oops. Every time I use TradingView, I feel like I'm using on like Solid Edge or Pro E or something like that. Because I used to work with it so much as an engineer. Those like 3D drafting programs, or those AutoCAD types. And I hated it, but I like using TradingView. So that's kind of cool, right? I mean, who knows? This could be very heavily truncated for C. Man, would that ever be beautiful? Right? Like, no kidding. Fuck, is it ever nice? Yeah, I'm just getting excited about it because overall, like, we can probably target this lower channel or this lower support down here, but conservative. Yeah. I mean, even if it got to something like that, like $44 ranges, that'd be kind of epic. It bounced back at the 61.8 as well, near there, right? Yeah, look how interesting it was at the 61.8. Hold on, am I doing that right? Yeah, it got almost to 61.8, and it just like bounced right away. Usually this is a good region to be interested in. Not too low, because you don't want to go. You got to make sure that like you got a lot of margin for error as well, but you don't want to always wait for that 61.8. If there are signs, especially 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, with a lot of like bearishly or bullish spinning tops and stuff like that, right? Bullish pin bars. I'm talking about in here. Bullish pin bar, bigger one, and then a bullishly engulfing candle. It's like, yeah, it's kind of, especially near the 61.8 region, it's kind of cool. So now we take a look at it longer term, and we can see ourselves making like a 24% profit here. And that's only till December. And then after that, we skyrocket because December 17th happens to be a magical day for sometimes the bulls and sometimes the bears. So that's kind of how I see it. Yeah. I'm just looking at it right now and I'm thinking to myself, every time there's a bullish green bar, is it ever possible that a reversal can happen imminently? Yeah. I mean, you take a look at, going up, that's a pretty bullish candle, and then reversal. Going up, this one's an indecisive one, that's a pretty bullish candle, and then massive drop. Going up, super bullish candle there, then indecision, drop. So yes, it's very much so possible for us to just drop here as well. I wish I can see a lot of bullish signs, but you correlate it to Bitcoin as well, because you gotta admit that like LTC is doing pretty good. BTC made a higher high than the previous one in like August, right? You take a look at Ethereum, it's on par with LTC. But you take a look at Link, for example, like they didn't really rally nearly as much. This one got here to about not even the 0.5. You go to ADA, and this one got here to about 0.5. And you go to VET. VET hasn't even rallied at all yet. Like, what the heck? So, like, it has a little bit, but not much, right? I mean, sure, since I called it, it went up like 20% or something. But it's pretty low down there, right? NEO hasn't really rallied at all yet. So I'm basically ranking them based on how much they rallied to the upside. BTC broke it once again. Ethereum and Litecoin are at the 618 region of the entire wave up, right? Link and ADA, they're like between 0.5-ish and 3.2. That hasn't really begun yet. Neo, nothing. Like none of these coins. Okay, so it's kind of an LTC show right now in Ethereum and BTC, and Link a little bit. So here's, wow, BTC is really rallying right now. It's at 1330. It's on a tear. Wow, this is going to be a pretty amazing that we actually caught this on camera here today. Cool. But you guys understand why Bitcoin is really going to have trouble at this region, right? It's this candle right there. 13,970. You can get a sell-off anytime. Shit, this is scary. Yeah, this is pretty scary right now to see this much volume. Not just volume, but the volatility. I mean, since September the 5th, guys, we're already up 36%, man. Like, you know that Bitcoin since March the 13th, we've gone up 250%. Like, do you understand how crazy that is? And this happens all the time. It happens all the time to almost every single coin that we look at, because there's an endless amount of possibility. It just comes down to how much time we actually put into scanning the market. This is kind of cool. You see Bitcoin just kind of rallying really freaking hard right now, okay? Like, Bitcoin's kind of going up right now since, yeah. This is on a, let's go 2 hour. A little more room. Bitcoin's been rallying hard for like 1 day, 12 hours. Link started to rally as well around that time. Or sorry, I mean LTC. 10% for LTC in like literally a day, not even. When BTC only did 5%. So it seems like LTC is multiplying by factor right now. But man, like, it's on such a resistance right now, Bitcoin, because of the 61.8 region. Did you guys know that? It's in the golden pocket, 61.8 of the entire grand structure, like the big rally. So this is like a holy fuck kind of moment, you know? Like, are we really doing this right now? Trying to break that major resistance. Holy crap. Or are we going to do something crazy, like go into a massive bearish market for another year or two? And then we just, and hitting it, and then we just crash again. Bam. Like, I'm not kidding. That's possible, guys. I mean, look at what happened here last time, right? We go there, we go here, we go there. It's not really that difficult for us to assume that it's possible. I'm getting really excited right now because, like, this is such a pivotal moment that it just gives me goosebumps thinking about it, because we're now, for once, okay, playing against a major structure from the major bull market in 2017. Does that make sense? It's just such a pivotal moment that, shit, man, if we break out of it, like, yeah, I can't even fathom what's gonna happen if we break above 14,000. I mean, I get it that, you know, we're bullish here on the RSI and the MACD and stuff like that. Yeah, it's gonna need a lot more. Anyways, I'm done talking about LTC for now. I'm just talking about, I want to release this video to show you that there's maybe one more possible wave going to the upside on a small scale, but I wanted to acknowledge the resistance, and I did a really detailed Elliot wave count for you as well, or for us, or for me, and I hope that this video has helped you. Okay, we'll talk soon.